All right, guys, welcome back. This week we're here at the Beast here in Waco. Only one course. Thought we were gonna have to play two like last year, but trimmed it down to one course. Gonna play the Beast. It's gonna be fun. Hole one kind of got the typical hyzer over the top and straight up the gut. For me, I like to practice both shots just because you never know if the wind's gonna be up and you're gonna have to throw up the middle. So I'm gonna throw up the middle with the zone and then also practice the over the top hyzer just so I can kind of have both shots in the bag. So that was kind of up the top, up the middle, a little bit short, but definitely still got a putt at it. It's got a little bit of a left to right cross, kind of pushing them down. That one definitely hyzer flipped a little bit too much. Looks like it went over the board, so we're gonna throw a hyzer. Looks like these bushes grew up a lot more than previous years, no doubt about that. So that's a machete, so we'll see what that does. Okay, so that should be 20 footer or so. So we'll try one more. I like it because it doesn't skip. So it hits the hill kind of up there and just doesn't really want to skip or roll or anything like that. All right, two hyzers, two straight shots. Let's go. How you doing, man?
How are you, dude?
Good to see you, dude. You too, man.
TD, Ryan Draper.
Thanks, man.
So we flew home. How was home?
Yeah, flew home. We packed up the Airbnb, or packed up the house, I should say.
To turn it into.
Yeah, to turn it into the Airbnb, and then, yeah, so it was good. Did a lot of packing, a lot of driving. Drove 15 hours. Got in last night at like 12. Awesome to be in Waco for sure. This place is just a classic course on tour. Short. I think that's kind of the last 2 weeks, kind of just short courses. I mean, it's not. I mean, I don't think I really threw 100% much at all. And same this week. The placement golf is definitely super important. You're not going to see, having people really, the distance throwers don't have any sort of advantage. So you're going to see a lot of different players on the leaderboard you maybe wouldn't normally see. So kind of unique, interesting. So that's kind of the risk you take going up the middle, is just turning too much. Whereas these hyzers, you pretty much just can play lawn darts with the basket and just get your birdie putt that way instead of risking going over these boards. But yeah, I like to just kind of play into this hill like this second one. Absorb the ground with these soft crystal machetes or Z Flex machetes, because they just kind of hit the ground and kind of absorb and just stick. So we got the up the middle play with the zone, and we got the over the top machete shot. We're ready for hole one. All right, hole two, same hole, 630 feet. We got the river on the right, sidewalk on the right. Pretty much left is kind of the room for error on this hole. And we almost always have a headwind. So I'm gonna have to go with the Nuke OS, something overstable, but still gonna get a little bit of push because it's got that 13 speed. So we're gonna try an overstable Nuke OS. It's not gonna give me as much distance as if I were to throw like a Force or a Venom, but it's more just to go out and have a nice consistent finish. It's not gonna go much over 420 feet or so. So that's just kind of a fairway hitter shot when we have a bunch of wind, so I don't have to worry about throwing something that's gonna turn over or something like this. This disc is a brand new, I've never thrown this disc before, so completely brand new TI Force Nate Doss Tour Series or whatever back in the day. So I wanna try this out. It's got a super dome, so I'm excited to see how it flies. I want it to fly straight and then just like that Nuke OS and then kind of fade back left. So we'll see. Okay, so that's pretty much, it's got some stability. Let's see at the end how okay. So I like that. I like that a lot, actually. It's kind of got some glide and then stability in the headwind. So I like that. That's kind of the disc that I'm missing right now, is a disc that I can trust on flex and then trust that it's gonna come back. This is my first throw with them. I'm throwing a bunch of new discs today, so join for the wild ride. I don't know what's gonna happen. Z4 is my Tour Series Z Swirl Force. I've been throwing the crap out of these things. So as you can see, they flip up a little bit, but then still have that nice finish at the end. So I like that. Yeah, so that's a good shot right in the fairway. But yeah, I got my new Zuka Arsenal cart, loaded it up full of discs. That's why I'm throwing a bunch of discs that I haven't thrown before, just because I'm able to store and carry more discs with me. And when I'm playing around like this, I want to, I'm still learning the discs, learning the bag, so I want to throw as many shots as I can. Get that data. It's all about data, learning what discs work, in what conditions. I need to throw into these headwinds, which what we got right here on this hole. That way I can kind of see how that disc flies and then kind of have a bank that flight in my head to where then if I have this same wind in the tournament, I can say, all right, I know exactly how this disc is going to fly, as opposed to never throwing that disc and not really knowing how it's going to fly. So yeah, Nate Doss force, and then I got my Z Swirl force, and then the Nuke OS. So those are going to be my kind of headwind go-to drivers for a hole like this. All right, this is my drive. This is not a drive that I'm going for distance. So I'm more just a, you know, controlled shot into a headwind that you know is not going to turn over, but it leaves you a little bit further away from the basket, as opposed to those other ones are a little more aggressive. Got about 50 to 60 more feet, so it makes the upshot that much easier, but still got a headwind, probably 250. I'm going to go with the zone and just throw a shot from here and just kind of gauge the distance. We got a headwind, so it's going to slow it down. I'm going to have to throw like almost a 300-foot shot to get the disc to fly 250, just because of how slow the disc is going to be flying into the headwind. So something like that. Go in. Okay, so that was a zone. So that, obviously that thing doesn't normally fly like that, but it's a hyzer flip and it's a headwind, so I knew it was going to hyzer flip and turn like that. Same with that thing, it's exact same disc basically. So yeah, both of those inside 20 feet or so. So I know kind of how my zones are flying into these headwinds, which is pretty nice. So now we're gonna go up to the shot that a little bit more aggressive, a little bit more distance. This is gonna be basically a way easier upshot, no doubt about that. Actually, not really easier, it's kind of awkward here. Yeah, still parked it, but yeah, as you can see, this tree kind of forces you to go left or right of it. Kind of makes it a little bit awkward, for sure. All right, really been liking these jawbreaker zones. Just the way they break in. I like the plastic because it breaks in slowly, but then it has that nice turn, as you can see with this shot here. But got a little bit of a, kind of like a 20-foot tailwind putt or so, some from here. So no gimme, but it's good to practice these kind of tester putts out here. That's kind of what you end up with a lot out here at Waco. It's hard to park holes sometimes just because you got so much wind. You don't know exactly how your disc's gonna land on the green, but yeah. Zone on the second shot. Sometimes it's forehand, sometimes it's backhand. Never know. Hole 2, Waco. All right, we got hole 3, 320-foot par 3. Kind of got like this kind of like ridge that goes on the right-hand side. That if you throw a flex shot, you can kind of hit that, and it doesn't really allow you to access the green as easy. I like the forehand. It's just the gap off the tee is a little bit tighter with the forehand, but I mean that doesn't really bother me. If you hit a tree, it's just going to be a par anyway, so it's not like there's really not much risk reward. If you hit a tree, it's a par. If you get through and you get a birdie putt, that's what you're looking for. So I'm going to go with just a nice smooth force. It's only 320 feet, and so it's going to be like a 70% shot. It's not going to be like a shot like I'm throwing 100%. So just kind of try to hit the gap nice and smooth with my Tour Series Z Swirl force, and just try to get a putt. Everything's going to be pushing a little bit right to left, so it's going to have to keep it a little bit on more hyzer and a little bit tucked on that right side tree, because everything's going to want to push more left than you think. So just a little wide. I like the speed of it was good. Try the Nuke OS here. A little bit of flex on this one. Same shot, same tree. So I'm going to try. I like the force. I think the force is the play. I'm going to throw the TI force on this one, just see how that flies. There we go. That's much better. So that should be inside the circle. Yep, so that's kind of what you're looking for. A little bit short, but try one more, another force. So yeah, those forces, even those first two were shots I'm totally fine with. I hit a tree, but I like the release and speed of everything. Of course, you know, I don't want to hit a tree in the tournament, but you know, I'm not too worried about that right now. Just trying to get a feel for the shots and get the speed and angle control that I want out of the hand, and yeah, that's really what I'm worried about. I'm not worried about hitting trees or getting the result I want right now. It's just a practice round and I'm just dialing in. So yeah, force on hole 3, probably forehand, nice and smooth, 70%. All right, here's my first force. Didn't throw it, push it as far as I really wanted to, but still got inside the circle look at it. A lot of headwind raised basket. That's kind of the name of the game out here at Waco's. You're gonna have to hit some death putts for sure, whether it's slopes or raised baskets. You know, that's kind of what protects this course, makes it challenging, is the raised baskets, the protected greens, stuff like that. So pretty awesome. hole 2, forehand. I think that's the best play for me. The other one went a little bit long, but a little bit long isn't so bad. A little bit too much juice. I ain't gonna stop you from birdieing, that's for sure. So. Tap, tap, tap it in. All right, guys, Discraft is coming out with my new Team Discraft website, and I'm gonna show you a couple goodies. We got, this one's a zone with the big Raptor shield. That's gonna be on the site. We're gonna have that stamp. This one's a zone. This one's straight in the bag. Then we got a couple buzzes. We got the Ricky stamp, silver, kind of Invisa stamp with the R's all around it. These stamps are freaking absolutely amazing. Discraft's website's dropping on Thursday this week. So if you want to check that out, you're going to see some goodies. We got this jersey also, lots of sick stuff. We're going to have hats, jerseys, some sweet stamp discs. I know we got buzzes, zones, forces. It's going to be loaded with the straight fire, so you're going to want to check that out. Thursday it's launching the 13th of this month, March. So thank you guys for tuning in. Thanks to Discraft for stocking it full of goodies. Check it out. All right, hole 4, we got 440 foot par 4, probably one of my favorite holes out here. Short par 4, but super demanding. If you don't hit the right landing zone, you have no shot into the green, and the green has a drop off to a river. So a lot of sweet variables on this hole. Just a really fun hole to play. You gotta hit the gap or you die pretty much on this hole. That's what this is all about. I'm gonna throw some TI zones. Just left, I'm thinking of basically just left of this middle tree. I use that as an aiming point. Just try to hit that, puncture that gap with some hyzer and just fade back. Trying to throw it about 300, 270, 300, that range. Just want to favor this left-hand side. As you can see, it's a little left to right sloped on that left side. I'm just trying to hit and kind of land in that slope and not really skip into the crap. So that's pretty much exactly a little bit more, oh, okay, I'm rolling back. All right, got a bad roll, but that's pretty much exactly what the angle I'm looking for to throw. Maybe a little bit more speed. Just like that. Maybe a little tight left. So that was actually a little left, tight, but I don't mind it. I'm gonna try one more. I'm gonna try another zone. It's gonna be like a stable zone. This is the one from the Team Discraft store. ESP freaking Raptor shield, that is so clean. So I'm gonna throw this one, a little bit more flex on it. Just like that. Maybe a little too straight. But actually, so that might be all right. I like to be left-hand side. So that one looks like it's good, but I would almost rather be almost in the bushes left, just because it opens up the angle to the right-hand side. Because if you're right at all on this hole, you have zero angle to the green. So one of those holes, I'd rather be in the left in the crap than in the fairway on the right-hand side. So I'm really trying to favor this left-hand side. So yeah, short, as you can, the distance of this hole is only 440 feet, but it's just such a demanding shot that makes it so fun to play. You know what you got to do. All right, so you have this one middle tree that if you're not left of it, you pretty much have no chance of getting to the basket. So like even a shot like, just like over there, it's in the fairway, but I'd much rather be back in the crap because I have such a more open shot. So I'll still kind of show you, just because when you're throwing a shot like this, you want to be on this left-hand side so you can go left of this guardian tree. You're basically having to tell yourself, hey, if I'm right of that tree, like even if I'm in the middle or even by my cart, I don't really want to be there because it's just such an awkward shot. I'd rather be in this crap here so I can straddle out and hit the fairway, give myself a birdie putt. Just like that. So that's pretty much exact. That should be about a 25 footer, 20 footer, versus if I'm right here, I'm in the fairway, but I don't even have a chance really to reach the basket barely. So that's how much the difference this hole makes if you're 10, 15 feet left versus right. And that's why I like this left side. Here's one of my extra shots, which was the ESP zone. It's a really good shot here. Gonna just kind of force me to throw kind of a turnover flex backhand putter. But I mean, this is pretty much ideal. Left of this guardian tree, as you can see, in the fairway, probably only 200, 250 feet. That was a little tight. I'm gonna try one more. But yeah, as you can see, this upshot is not a gimme. There's a lot of variables here. I hit so that's better. So it should slide up to the basket. But as you can see, I'm right in the fairway, but it's not a gimme. That first one clipped the limb and don't really have a birdie putt. So yeah, even if you throw a good shot, a lot of times you're throwing two putters or a mid-range and a putter. You're not really bringing out a driver, but it still has that challenge, and that's why we love this course. You can still get challenged without having to throw a driver on every hole. All right, so we got this kind of sketchy, tough green up here. Definitely makes it hard to commit to a putt potentially if you're not super confident, because if you roll or anything like that, you're gonna you're gonna hit, roll into the river, and really there's nothing stopping you. If you get on a roller angle or start flying down there, you're gonna go right in the river. So tough green, that's kind of what protects this hole here at hole 4, is if you throw a mediocre upshot, you're left with a death putt. So really like this green, really like this hole. Once again, it's only 440 feet, but one of the better holes on the course. Our hole 5, we got 264 foot par 3 up the hill. I think the biggest variables in this hole is just the upslope there. You can kind of use that to your advantage. It's an uphill shot, so it's 260 playing about 300, 310 in that range. It's definitely not playing 260. But yeah, you can't, it's a little bit height restricted, so you almost kind of want to throw into that hill to kind of kill the speed and then kind of give it that little extra 10-foot skip up to the basket. I like to try to just hit the top of that hill and use that as a kind of a way to kill the speed, because if you clear the hill too fast, you're gonna sail 30, 40 long or something like that, or even more. So I try to just hit the hill, skip up, and give myself an inside the circle putt, but really use that hill to kind of kill the speed. So yeah, I hit the hill. It should be, I hit low on the hill. I want to hit a little higher, but I mean, that's still a 30-footer. I'm not really upset with that. A little bit too far right. Try to throw up the middle a little bit better. Same shot. So I hit that kind of guardian tree on the edge. But yeah, I really like that first one. It's low, kind of hit the hill, skipped up to it. Try another jawbreaker zone. I really like the jawbreaker plastic just because of the way it breaks in. And this is a perfect shot for it. There we go. So that should hit the top of the hill and kind of trickle to the basket, just like that. So that's pretty much ideal, exactly what I want to throw. As you can see, it hit the top of that hill, kind of knocked a little bit of the speed off, versus if I fly over that hill, it's got nothing to hit, nothing to stop it, and it's just gonna go sailing over the basket into the bushes, probably 30, 40 foot long. So that first one was a great play. Hit the hill, it should be about 20 feet. The second one, I threw it pretty much perfect. Or the third one, I threw it perfect and should be parked. All right, so here's the first one that kind of hit the hill and just kind of fizzled out, like I said, pretty much exactly where I figured it would be, 20 feet. But yeah, I just hit the hill and stopped. I'd much rather be on this side of the hill than fly over the hill too far and really not give yourself a good look. So yeah, not a bad birdie chance from here. Nothing really to go wrong too much, because you're just putting uphill. You're not gonna really get the crazy rollaways or the crazy bounces when you're putting like this. So really safe, high percentage putt coming down from this hill up to the basket. All right, so this is the third one that I said I played perfect, exactly what I thought was gonna happen. Kind of hit the hill, stopped. We got about a 20-foot putt, not even, 15, 10. But yeah, I think zone is the play. I've been throwing my broken in jawbreaker plastic on a shot like that where it's a straight flight and you don't wanna go too fast, and the zone's a perfect speed for that. All right, hole 6, we got 267 downhill par 3, dogleg to the right. That matches my forehand pretty well. So I'm gonna go with the TI zone. Just kind of try to throw it flat. Looks like we got a right to left wind coming in. So that's gonna force me to keep it on a little bit of hyzer to kind of counter the fact that the wind's gonna push it a little bit more left than it normally would. So a little bit more hyzer. Just try to hit really this hole is just about hitting the gap on hyzer and getting yourself down there. Speed control is important, but more important than speed control is just hitting the gap. If you hit the gap with a disc that's gonna get you down there, that's the most important part. Give yourself the chance, because if you hit a tree, obviously you're not even getting a chance for a birdie putt. So that's pretty much a little bit tight, but I don't even mind that because I'm down there for a putt, probably about 25-footer, something like that. If I'm a bit nitpicky, I want to go a little bit straighter. But like I said, the main goal in this hole is hit the gap, get down there for a putt. Everything else will work itself out. There we go. So that's pretty much ideal. So nice and low. Gives myself, you know, fight the hill, ride the hill, and it's not gonna have time to glide. If you throw it higher going downhill like this, it's gonna have time to just glide away from the basket. Whereas that one's a little bit lower, it's not gonna have that time to skip and fade too far away from the basket. So that one's just, that happens on this hole because it's so tight, but it's a little bit too tight, a little bit too much hyzer. But yeah, really liked how those forehands are kind of coming out of the hand on this hole. We'll go down there and see where I'm gonna take my putts, but they should be 2 inside the circle putts. Yeah, once again, as you can see, tight gap, just hit the gap, get yourself down there, and go from there. A little bit tight and narrow on this first shot, but I mean, like I said, I'm only 20 feet away, so it's not like the end of the world. Not like I can't make a putt or something like that. So little bit of stuff in the way, but nothing that you can't work with. So yeah, TI zone. I mean, a lot of shots come in, skip, and kind of go into these bushes right side, which is totally fine. Got a little bit of a raised basket, but yeah, just hit the gap and make a putt. All right, hole 7, we got a par 4, drivable par 4 here at Waco. This is another really fun hole. Definitely can get the 2 if you throw a good shot. Fits my flex forehand perfectly. I'm going for it every time. Even if I hit something, I can scramble and get myself a chance for birdie still. So it's just worth the risk. There's a lot of reward, and the risk isn't too much. If I hit a tree and go in the crap, yeah, it's gonna be a par. And that's pretty much almost feels like a bogey on this hole because it's such a short par 3 or par 4 that most people are just gonna be chipping up for an easy 3, and you're losing a stroke. But you know, the times you get through and get yourself a putt, it's worth it. So 4. That was a ricochet from one more. One more. All right, that was a bad shot. I want to throw a good one here. Oh, I keep clipping crap, but I'm in the middle, so we're gonna throw a shot from the middle. Didn't get off a good one, but we don't have too much time. We're trying to play through these Jomez guys and get through the course. Got the second shot. I didn't throw a perfect shot, but I got lucky and landed in the middle. Kind of the beauty of this hole. It's worth the risk reward just for the fact that you have a chance even if you don't throw a perfect shot. So yeah, even from here, it's just kind of a straddle out. Not in the fairway necessarily, but still have a good chance for birdie. So really not much risk with the forehand. Even if you mess it up, you still can get a birdie and have a chance for a 2. All right, here's the second shot here. Not much to really do here besides just tap in. But yeah, forehand, putter. Sometimes you get a putt at it, get down in this little valley, give yourself a look for 2. If you don't, you can get up and down for the birdie like I did. All right, hole 8, we got 213-foot par 3, probably one of the shortest par 3s on tour, but still, that's kind of the name of the game out here. Short, technical, got to hit the gaps to get putts. I'm gonna throw a couple jawbreaker zones. So that one's gonna be down the hill to the right-hand side. So I'm just trying to ace it for you guys just to be fun. But normally I would just throw that same shot a lot lower and just slide it up to the basket. But that's not fun when you're playing a practice round right now. Oh, a little bit tight. So as you can see, gap's not a gimme. I'm gonna throw one more that I would probably pretty much throw in the tournament, just a lot lower. I might even go a little bit of standstill just to get it up there. Or a super soft, slow run up just to control the speed. So just like that. That might go in actually. Oh, dang it, that tickled the shades. Dang it. Oh, how did that go in? Did it hit left side? Yeah. Oh, yeah. Man, those zones just stay in the air so much longer than you think. I love it. They just glide forever. I didn't think it was gonna have a chance to go in. That was crazy. Yeah, so I've tried to call the ace for you guys. Tickled the chains. Maybe I'll get it in the tournament, but yeah, love this hole. It's perfect for a zone. Wish I would have smashed it for you guys, but hey, we'll get it next time. All right, so if you go right side of this basket, you're going way down this hill, which is exactly what I did with that first one, but that's gonna make me have to spin putt, which is, you know, because these limbs come so far down, I can't do my normal putt. There we go. Oh. So yeah, obviously a lot trickier if you go down this slope, whereas this kind of, the one that hit the chains kind of slowed down. It didn't really go down get down the hill as much. So that definitely helps the percentage on the putt. But yeah, I was trying to ace it. So that's what you get for being greedy. If you ace run this hole and you miss it, you're down in the crap in the bushes. And that's why you don't see us pro tour players going for aces as much, because we got such tight, narrow greens that a lot of stuff can happen if you don't ace it. And more times than not, you're not gonna ace it, but you gotta try sometimes. All right, hole 9, we got a 519-foot par 4, probably one of the most challenging par 4s on the course. Very demanding, tight tunnel. We got a height restriction. We obviously got a tight, narrow gap. I'm gonna throw a Malta. I like to take this right side. Some people go left side of the tree. I like to go right side of it. Just kind of go down the fairway and try to flex back. But it's kind of awkward because you gotta throw it down. If you throw up, you're gonna hit the height of that tree. So kind of got to focus on throwing down with a little bit of nose down flex, almost kind of what it feels like. And you're probably trying to throw it 300, 320, something in that range to get down to the landing zone. Just like that. I like that a lot, as long as it hit that last tree. Okay, I think I got past it, but it's super close to that tree. I'm gonna try one more here. Try the Predator. It's a driver, so it's gonna get down there a little bit faster as long as I hit the line. A little bit too tight to the right. So I like that line, that was good. I just a little touch too much turn to the right. I'm gonna try one more here. Let's try a Captain's Raptor. Same shot, throw a little bit too much, a little bit more flex on it. Not so much nose down. Okay, that's great. I like that a lot. That's pretty much perfect. I want to do that every time, give myself down in that bowl, give myself that chance to throw an upshot and get that 3, because the 3 on this hole is a separator for sure. You're gonna be able to get some strokes on a lot of people, because a lot of people hit early and do all kinds of weird stuff, get 4, 5s and 6s pretty easily. So yeah, kind of my choice on this hole is kind of between super soft fairway driver, 50-60% shot, or am I going to mid-range, you know, more of an 80 or 90% shot, just try to hit the gap with something smooth like that Malta, get it to fade back into that bowl. And once we get up here, you guys will see kind of how there's a little bowl, and that's where you want to be to give yourself an angle into the basket. All right, so this is the Malta. It didn't hit that tree like I thought it might have in the beginning, but we got a little bit of a tricky shot. I'm gonna go with the zone. You can see you can see the last the top of this upslope by the basket. You can see that dirt spot. I'm kind of just trying to hit that because you want to obviously fly over it, but it's hard because there's limbs that hang out that you can't really see, kind of invisible limbs. So I'm trying to throw a little bit lower, hit the hill, and try to skip up to 20 feet. This isn't a shot that I'm trying to park. This is a shot that I'm playing to about 30 feet, and I'm content with that just because of all the extra risk that it takes from this specific lie to get yourself inside 20 feet. So hit the gap, hit that upslope, land at about 30, 35 feet. That'd be a good shot from here. Oh, hit the last tree. That was pretty much ideal the whole way. Just clip something at the very end. I'm gonna try one more here from this spot just because it's a challenging spot. Okay, so it looks like I kind of saw why my disc pushed over to the left. We got a little bit of right to left wind up there. So normally it would hyzer in front of that tree that I hit, but I actually got pushed into it just because there's a little bit more of a crosswind than I saw. So a little bit more hyzer. I'm gonna challenge this tree on the right-hand side a little bit more. I just got a wet disc. I forgot a towel, so I'm throwing sometimes a wet disc here. Oh, so challenge the tree and hit it, but it's hard to throw a wet zone. Yeah, no, this upshot's so hard unless you're in the dead center, perfect spot. I'm gonna throw another one from back to the left side here. I threw the driver, which kind of, that's the risk you take with the driver, is going too far, you're getting too much of a skip. So once again, this shot, I have a height restriction and I'm not really gonna be able to park it unless I get super risky for no reason. So I'm trying to hit this upslope on the hill, skip up to about, or I can just go over it. Hit the upslope, just like I said, 25 feet, something like that. I can't really throw it higher because I'll show you guys exactly what would happen. If I throw that same shot higher, that's exactly what happens, is I hit the limbs on top of that tree. So that's the risk you take, and that's why I'm not really trying to park that shot, is because of that reason. This tree was sticking out so low that it just doesn't allow me to really park the hole, which is fine. You can still get the birdie, you just gotta work for it a little harder and make that putt. So little intricacies on a course like this are super important to know when to go for it and try to park the hole, and when to realize, hey, I can still throw it to 25, 30 feet and try to make a putt for birdie. All right, so here's the zone shot, the first one. It hit this tree and kind of bounced back. That's kind of how the slope works. If you hit a tree on it, gravity's gonna wanna take it back. So still got a putt. This is, like I said, put it in perspective, this is the hardest par 4 on the course. So just getting a birdie putt is kind of what you want. You wanna make it, but a little bit too much turn. These yellow putters are getting a little bit flippy. So, a lot of my misses with these putters are a little bit right, as you can see. These pink ones are a little bit more stable. So a little bit more on target because they got that little bit more flex. So just something I'm kind of keeping an eye on with my new putters and how they break in. All right, so gave myself that birdie look, but still getting the par after not making it. But yeah, one of the hardest par 4s out here at Waco. Par's not a problem. It's not gonna lose you the tournament. Thank you guys for watching the front nine here at the Beast in Waco. Let's check out the back nine, see what we got over there.